Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm out in the garden today. It's a lovely day. It's like upper 70s. It was cloudy this morning and the clouds have finally burned off. But I thought today that I would bring you along. I'm going to be starting a few seeds for fall, and then I thought of would be, because I'm not going to start that many. I've never done a fall garden before, so this is my first year, so I don't want to plant too much. She says no, but I thought once we're done with that I'd take you around for an early fall, or not early fall. I thought that it'd be fun to take you around for an early August garden tour. I don't remember the last time that I did a garden tour. It could have been early July or maybe late June. But anyway, everything has gone wild and it's beautiful and it's exciting, and we're getting so much produce that it's getting a little hard to keep up. But we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's what I wanted to bring you along with today. So we're going to get started with some seed starting. I'm going to direct sow, I think, some lettuce. And then start a few, I think, broccoli and kale indoors. Oh, and cabbage. And see how we go with that this year. And then I'll hopefully be transplanting it out like the end of August, early September for a fall crop. But let's get going. So today I'm just going to use potting soil to start these seeds. I'm going to start this Copenhagen cabbage, and then this says Waltham 29 broccoli, and then I have all of those different types of radishes. I think I'll direct sow those. And then I'm going to start some spinach here. And then I've got more of the red sales, like the red leaf lettuce, which was really delicious. So we're going to start some more of that. And I think I'm going to start more of this blend. I don't want to start too much. And I'm pretty sure I have kale in here. Yep. So this is the Russian red kale. I'm going to start some of that in here. I might start some lettuce in these too. And then I decided I wanted to try some more of the like bunching onion or spring onions, what people like to call them. So I'm going to do some of those. I'm going to start them in here as well. And then, let's see. And then I just have some more radishes. And this is fennel, but I don't think that I'm not going to start any fennel. But I am going to do some more radishes. Yeah, that's what I'm going to get started on right now. Alright, so we're gonna start our little tour here. This wisteria has gone wild. It needs to be trimmed off the house, but it's looking really whimsical, and I love that look. Our English daisies are doing great. I keep deadheading and I keep getting more blooms, so it's working. Thankfully, I was a little worried. It was a little touch and go over there for a little bit, but we are getting more blooms on it, which is lovely. Some of the leaves don't look great, so I probably will want to clean that up a little bit before the end of the summer. And then our viola basket up here is going good as well. They died off quite a bit, but then they came back really great, or like really well, with some good watering. And then we have this lovely lily over here right there, and the other one looks like it's about to bloom too. It's so pretty. I love that these come out at the end of summer. There's actually usually two, and I'm not sure why the other one, it just broke off. So we only got this one here this year, but it is stunning. And then I also want to bring you back here because this hydrangea is so lovely. Look at how beautiful these blooms are. Such a pretty purple color. And then there's a little bit of blue and a little bit of pink. And it's just so, it's thriving this year. And I think it's because I've started trimming them. And yeah, I'm just so happy with how this is going this year. Let's get you back. It's stunning. And then we're back out here on the patio. This dahlia, was the first to sprout in the spring, but it has not bloomed yet. But it looks like it's starting to shoot up. So hopefully we'll get a dahlia bloom off of this. But everything here is looking really good, except for my lupin. They have aphids all over it. But everything online said to not trim them all the way back until the fall when they die off, because it can stress the plant out. So I'm just kind of leaving it and keeping an eye, making sure they're not spreading to other parts of this little patch here. But it's not like the nicest to look at. And then I've got a bunch of cosmos coming in here, a calendula down here that's about ready to bloom. This this blueberry bush gave us so much this year, and it's got this new branch, and so hopefully next year we'll get even more off of that. More cosmos here that I just direct sowed. I broadcasted the seeds everywhere, and then I cut back my salvia plant here, and it's already got new growth under in the center there, so that is great. And then we are still getting some blossoms on these strawberries down here, but I have a feeling something's been eating them, because I could have sworn there was a new one, like a strawberry here a few days ago, and it's gone, so I think something may have come and eaten it. Our echinacea is starting to bloom. It's so pretty. When I planted the echinacea, I did not know that it was perennial, and it was such a pleasant surprise when I found out. And they just have come back beautifully every year. And then here is a Mexican sunflower that's really getting tall, which I'm really excited about. And then I've got pepper plants here. I'm pretty sure both of these are sweet peppers. This one I forgot to label, or I lost the label for it, but I'm pretty sure that's a sweet pepper. But this one is already full, and as you can see, there's a bunch of blooms here. But I'm gonna let these get a little bigger. I usually harvest them pretty small, so I want to see how big they can get. But yeah, it's doing really well in this pot. And then this dahlia is stunning. It's blooming, and I've been deadheading it, so we've gotten even more blooms coming behind these ones. My first bachelor button, I broadcast a bunch of seeds in here, and not all of it took, but I'm pleasantly surprised that bachelor button has decided to bloom. This tarragon has taken off, as well as this pot full of nasturtiums. I think it's so pretty and wild. I'm so glad that I did that. And then our chive blossoms are starting to blossom out, which is really exciting, but I need to watch that this year because chive blossoms have spread, or garlic chives have spread a little bit in here. And also I have strangely I have some oregano here, and then there's some here, and they're thriving, so I'm leaving them because we love oregano. Catnip is doing super good. This other thing of violas that I planted looks great, especially when it gets watered regularly. There's some zinnias coming up in here, but I'm not sure how great they're gonna do. I wish they were larger. None of the other zinnias in any of the other places that I broadcast sprouted, so it's a little disappointing, but hopefully we'll get some from these. This oregano is still looking really great. The sage that we planted earlier this summer is looking great. There's our first calendula flower. And then this is peonies that have gone over, so I just deadheaded everything, and then I always keep the greens up until they start dying back in the fall because it helps regenerate for next year. And then it's so random. We have one little poppy here that has popped up, and there's another one right behind it that's coming up. But I ripped all the rest of the spent leaves of those out. These irises, I got a few on these this year, but not many, and I'm not sure why they're not blooming. So we'll see. I don't know if it's because they don't get enough sun on their roots, but this area does get a lot of heat, especially early in the day. As you can see, I mean, the shade line isn't even that far from where they are, and I think it's like around 4 o'clock. So I'm not sure why those aren't working out. I need to do some more research. And then our strawberry hanging basket up here is doing really well. We've gotten so many strawberries off it, and there's even more coming that need to be harvested. But yeah, this area is looking so pretty. It's farther behind than last year. I think it's because last year I transplanted seedlings for most of the flowers, or for all of the flowers last year. So these are all direct sown, and they are just taking longer to bloom. But I do have my first cosmos. These are the seashell cosmos bloomed. The first one bloomed a few days ago, but this one has just come out. It's so beautiful. I love the shape of these. It's like a hole down into the petal, but gorgeous. All right, we're over to this little wine barrel. The nasturtiums are looking so beautiful, cascading over, which is what I wanted, but it is kind of blocking out one of my little bell peppers here. But I have 2 more, and there are some bell peppers coming on here. I just fed everything today, so hopefully we'll get more growth and more peppers coming. There's some marigolds in here that are about to bloom, or that are coming in, and then some basil and a random tarragon sprig. But this is wild and lovely, and I'm just so pleased with how it turned out. Next year I probably will not put a nasturtium in here. They end up taking up so much room, but they're so pretty to look at. So, and then over here is my wild squash / pumpkin patch. I'm getting my first Jack B. Little pumpkin here. If it'll focus, maybe. There we go. Looking so cute. And then there's another one over here. And then there's more coming. It is really vined out. And then our 2 gray zucchini plants are doing great. I've gotten so many zucchinis off these 2. And then the yellow squash plant is looking a lot better. I had a little bit of an aphid problem on it, but it looks like it's sorted itself out. I've gotten about 4 yellow squash off these. And then these are my lovely the fairy tale pumpkins. I've got 3 right now. And I have noticed that the flowers have started dying off of this vine and then this one, and I'm not sure why. So I gave them a good feed today, and I'm hoping that they'll spring back and give me at least one more giant pumpkin. But they're so fun, and I'm so happy that I planted pumpkins this year, and I definitely will try again next year, maybe with some different varieties as well. And then you see back here there's a bunch of spent lilies and then my daylilies are also spent, but I am going to be keeping up these greens until they die back. I do that every year. It helps with the bulb development. And then this iris, I mean, the leaves look great, but it did not bloom this year. So I wonder, because I transplanted them last year from my dad's old yard, so I'm wondering if they just need some time to adjust. But this area gets plenty of sun too, so I'm not sure what's going on. I need to do more iris research, clearly. And then all of our bushes, everything's super wild. We need to get in there and mow. We're gonna do an outdoor movie night out here in a few weeks, and we're trying to get some of the grass to grow back. As you can see, it's kind of died, but we have the sprinklers, and hopefully we'll get some more growth. If not, it'll be fine, but I do need to get mowing some of this. I've just started getting blueberries off of this guy. He didn't do anything last year, no blueberries at all, but he's looking so much healthier, and I think it's because we've started adding coffee grounds to each of our blueberry bushes, and they seem to really love that. So we're going to continue to do that. And then we have this one over here as well, that it was so prolific. And there's still a ton to come on this one. And then we're over here to my crazy tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes have all started blushing, so we've been getting plenty of those to snack on. And then the heirloom beefsteak tomatoes are doing fabulous. They're coming along. And we've got so many on here on these 2 plants, which is really exciting. And then if we go back, look at how great my mint is looking too. I love this. My little herbs, I feel like I've really gotten the hang of taking care of these guys, and they're thriving for me, which I really love. And then we've got zucchini. There's 3 zucchinis in here, and they're just kind of vining out. I've gotten so many off of these 3 plants, and I know that there's more to come, because they're thriving. What is not doing that great is my little cayenne plants down here that are getting shaded out. But I'm going to be trimming some of these leaves back to give them a little more sun exposure. My fennel has gone to flower, and I'm not sad about it because fennel flowers are so beautiful, and I'm pretty sure they are edible as well. I saw someone on Instagram make a recipe with some fennel pollen, so we might try that. And then over here, you can see all my onions have stopped growing, and I'm going to need to harvest them soon because I don't want them rotting in the ground. Some of them got pretty good size, but for the most part they're pretty small. And this is the first year that I've grown onions from a set, from the little seed onion. And I think they did okay. And then this does look a little sparse, but I have some beans. I direct sowed some beans down here, and so those are starting to sprout, which is really exciting. But I have gotten a few, and there's some that need to be harvested. But I have gotten a few handfuls of beans, and pretty soon this whole thing will be filled. And I actually really this is the last year for this trellis because it broke, but it's been really helpful to support my tomatoes too. So it's got dual purpose, and it had dual purpose earlier in the season when I had peas all over this too. So, but it's looking really good, and I'm really excited for more beans. And I do see I think there's 2 down here. I don't know if you can see with the camera. Maybe. Yeah, so there's one little bean sprout, and then the other one right there is coming. And then I planted 2 over here, and there's 2 back there as well, and I see more sprouting, so that's exciting. There's definitely more beans coming, and I'm glad that I didn't wait to plant those. But as you can see, there's little ripe sun golds there, which is exciting. It's my favorite variety, but it's looking very wild over here, and I love it. And then over here, I've still got some Swiss chard holding on, which is doing really well. And then these lettuces down here, I ripped out because they were bolting, but these grew back, which is exciting. So I'm gonna keep them there. And then this red romaine is doing super well, so I just ripped off some of the bad leaves, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more growth on that. But I've got some jalapeno blossoms on this plant, and these peppers actually aren't doing too bad, even though this does get more shade than this bed over here. And then this is a calla lily that comes up every year. I'm glad I haven't killed it yet, but yeah, the golden nugget tomatoes are doing super well. They were the first ones to ripen for me, and there's so many on these 2 plants, and it's going to be hard to keep up, but we'll do our best. Carrots, there's a ton of carrots that are ready to harvest, and maybe I'll bring you along in my next video and harvest some of these carrots to give a few of the smaller ones some more space. And unfortunately, my beets have not done well, and I think it could be because I did not thin well enough. I'm leaving them in for as long as they want to be in. There's some with some big greens, and I do see a little bit of bulbing for the beets, but I don't know. I think it's because I didn't thin well enough, and maybe the soil was a little more compacted than I was thinking. But anyway, and then as you saw over here, I planted some more lettuce and some more radishes, so hopefully we'll get another little crop of those. But yeah, just this area is looking so beautiful this summer, and I love how my garden changes a little bit every year, and I add in different plants and take things out and move them around, which is, I mean, that's for crop rotation, but yeah, it's so peaceful out here. And then this gorgeous wisteria is blooming. I love the little trumpet blossoms that come on here, and it smells really nice. And then we've got some more lilies over here, so pretty. These actually, I'm surprised that they bloomed this year because they've had some issues in the last few years, but it looks like they're coming back. And then the hosta over here is looking spectacular. And then we've got some violas, and then our little hellebore plant is still hanging on. I'm hoping that it'll bloom this year, so we'll see. And then there's just a bunch of weeds back here that I need to get to. And my poor little hydrangea, I think it needs some more trimming this year and some more space given around it. But I'm hopeful that next year maybe I can get some blooms off of it. And then my fuchsia here is getting some new blooms, which is exciting. This plant is so beautiful, and I'm so happy that it's here. But yeah, there's just, the tidying is never done in a garden, and this is like the reality. There's weeds in my garden, and honestly, over here I don't really mind. I don't go over here a ton, and usually when they get tall like this one, I rip them out. So that guy's definitely, his days are numbered. But yeah, that's just the reality of a garden. The work is never done, and it's never perfect, but it's still beautiful in its own way. And last but not least is my problem child bed, which isn't doing terrible, but it's not thriving, except for these snapdragons are thriving, and they look gorgeous. I'm having a hard time with these peppers. They just haven't really put on a lot of growth. I fed everything today. I've gotten one zucchini off this bush zucchini plant, but nothing else. I've gotten some flowers, but nothing significant. And I pulled out the red romaine that had bolted over here, and I'm just dropping it. I'm just dropping to create some more organic matter. And then these are 2 golden nugget squash plants that I haven't gotten to do anything. They've just grown, and that's pretty much the size that they've been since they were put in. And then my tomato over here, this is one of the heirloom beefsteaks, and it may look good, like this looks like it's blushing, but then you look and it's got some blossom end rot. So there is definitely deficiencies in this bed, and I think blossom end rot is caused by lack of calcium. So I'm going to be doing some more research, and then this year in the fall I'm going to amend this bed again with some more compost, and definitely cover it again with leaves to continue the natural cycle. These beans, actually, I've gotten a few off of, and I'm happy to see that there's more. They're starting to put on more blossoms, at least on this one. And so hopefully I can get some more beans out of these guys. But yeah, this bed is a work in progress, and it's really, I think this bed is helping me learn so much more about soil health and deficiencies, and what's working and what isn't. There's a bunch of onions still in here that I need to rip out. They didn't do much either, and I think there's just deficiencies in this patch, so I'll need to get that figured out. Look at that beautiful sun today, and it's just feels so nice today. It's like high 70s, which to me is the perfect weather. But yeah, everything's looking very brown in some areas, but there's still a lot of life out here, and I'm very much looking forward to fall and seeing what I can get to grow in the garden around then. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. I'm excited to have brought you along on some fall seed starting, and then also just a quick tour around the garden. Like I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of vegetables and things to harvest that are coming in, and it's midsummer, so we're in like peak harvesting season, which is really exciting. And I'm like, I don't want to say I'm like surprised that I've gotten things to grow so well, but you know, it's just such a fun thing for me to do. I love gardening. I love planting vegetables, and I love watching things grow and seeing how they react to different parts of the yard. But yeah, anyway, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports my channel. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more fun stuff coming up for the end of the summer and beyond. And I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.